Alrighty fellas, today we're going to be doing an oil change on a Can Am Renegade 500. So the first thing you'll want to do is there's going to be a little drain plug on the bottom here. You can see I've already pulled it. I believe it is it's a 1/2 inch. You just want to pull that and let your oil drain. Then there's my old filter. There's 3 little Torx bits, so I can find them here. A little dirty, got a little oil in them. Torx bits. They're a T30. There'll be 3 of them right there. I'll just take those off. I used a little hook here and I just popped it off. It's just a little, it popped off real easy. You'll take that off, and then all your oil will drain, obviously. And then I got me a cane in here that I put on it. I sprayed down with brake cleaner, got it cleaned out real good. Then you're just gonna want to put that back on, just like that. Put those 3 little Torx back on, and then skipped it when I get those tightened down. But I think it takes like 2.3 quarts of 10W40. Picked this up because it was the closest thing to me. I like Lucas, it's pretty good stuff. I run it in my truck and everything. But like 2.3 you want to check. And obviously put the drain plug back in, and that's all there is to it, to a Can Am Renegade 500 oil change. I'm pretty sure this probably goes for newer, like 570s and probably bigger. I'm sure it's probably the same setup. So the V-twin EFI Rotac. But I'll skip to when I get all that in and start it up. Forgot to mention with this filter, it's just kind of a press to fit. You want to make sure this little hole side is up, and you just want to press that down real hard on there. I usually get a little oil and rub it around that O-ring to make sure you get to good. Get your O-ring from rotting out and drying out, make sure it gets a good seal. Alright, we just got that all snugged down, real good and everything. Sprayed down some brake cleaner, get all that old oil off there. Same with the bottom. Make sure that's nice and tight. Got your crush washer on there. Now you're just gonna take your oil, give it a good shake, pour it on in there. Usually with vehicles, people always talk about pre-filling oil filters, but with these machines, they fill up with so much oil that that filter is constantly in oil, so there's no need. If you're worried about your filter soaking it up in time, I just let it sit for about 5 minutes and it'll be just fine. I ended up opting out for the full synthetic blend. I think that was like a $2 difference. This was like, I think, $7.99 a quart. I got it up at a local Baumgars near me. There's everything on it. Synthetic, yep. But it's rated for it, and I read that's what Can Am calls for, and it's a little better, so that's what we went with. Go get our 2nd and 3rd quart. 2nd quart going in. I always see people talking about, they see the settling at the bottom of their oil. And what that is it's all the additives for your oil. So it's always good to give them a good shake to make sure you get the benefit of all those additives. Now remember, on this 3rd quart, we're only going to do just a little bit. So we'll pour a little bit and get our dipstick and check it here. Alright, we just put our dipstick in. Let's take it out and see here. A little camera focus. We got her right above those hashtags. I ended up blowing mine out with an air hose to make sure I got all that old oil out. I also just did a spark plug change on these two. It's actually fairly easy. Compared to like a Polaris or something, you got these little rubber grommets above it, so I'm having to take out body clips, so it just pops right out. You got one of them right here, pops off real easy. And then second one right here, it's also fairly easy to get to, and it's a 5/8. I ended up going with NGKs for those. We'll take it out here, check it one more time. We're about perfect. Yeah, just barely above it, so it's perfect. We'll check it in the morning. It's getting late here. It's about 10 o'clock where I'm at. So we'll check it in the morning, make sure filter didn't soak up too much so we don't run without enough oil. And we'll run it and get it up to temp and check it again. And that's it, guys. You just want to make sure that you definitely get enough in there. It's better to have too much than not enough. If you don't burn up your engine. So I ended up getting a little impatient, and I figured about 5 or 10 minutes for that filter to soak was enough, so we're going to go ahead and try to fire it on up here. Make sure we ain't got no leakage or nothing. Filter seems to not be leaking or anything. The O-ring seems to be good on that. No leakage from under the oil pan here. That's why, not oil pan, motor drain bolt. That's why I recommend spraying it off so you can see if you got any leakage. So now I just say let her get up to temperature and then check your oil again. So we got her up to temp, I'd say. It's been 5 or so minutes, so let's turn her off and check it now. That's from earlier. Ignore that, that's from filling it up. Always wipe it off after you pull it out the first time. Stick it back in. Screw it in until she's firm. And back it out and see. We were above the hashtags, now we're about halfway. I don't know if you all can tell it or not. I'm gonna add just a little bit, just to be safe. So we added a little bit, and now we're perfect, right at the top of the hashtags. Now, that's it. Get that firm and tight. And if you're wondering about my front end, I'm rebuilding that too. I had a wheel bearing that was a little bit loose, and so I'm just going to go ahead and replace my bushings and everything else while I'm at it. Not tie rods, ball joints. Tie rods are good. Yep. I'm just going to end up changing my differential fluids on my front and back. They call for a little bit different. I picked some up today. Can't remember which one's which. I'm pretty sure the 75 140 is for the front, and the 90 is for the back, but I'm not positive on that. Could be the opposite way around. All in all, I think this was like $20, and this was like, I think around 14 or 15. 100% on that. But I'm going to go ahead and change out every fluid on it before we leave to go trail riding here in Colorado.